it a hit or was it retaliation?
Retaliation for them assaulting. That's why I call it game banging activities. I don't say black black on black crime or anything like that. That's what
Mm,
game bangers do. You hurt one of ours, we go and try to hurt one of y'all's or
damn.
you.
Ugh. Was it? I mean, so he basically it was retaliation. So, oh my goodness. So was it the fight that got him killed,
It was a
or
fight. It was a fight. It was a fight, and more importantly, excuse me.
no? You're fine.
Okay, it was. All right, sorry about that. My apologies. But it was the assault that happened that made them have the courage or the anger to do it that particular night. But I also believe that they also knew it was a bounty that was put out there by y'all dancing friend, um, Mr. P Diddy. Uh,
Naming names now. Naming it now. Wasn't this the guy who got all up in arms about people saying and where he said how mad he was about everybody saying that he had something to do with the Tupac case or saying stuff about him and how up in arms he was about that and how wrong he thought that was. And
Right.
yeah, it's okay for him to point the finger at somebody else,
Right.
but and that's going to be true, right? But all this other crap, not true. Yeah, okay, man.
And have you
That ain't
noticed?
hypocrisy. I don't know what is.
Oh, exactly. Now, so is it? Did he got retaliate? Is it retaliation for the Orlando Anderson incident, or was it the hit from Puffy? How is it both, Reggie?
Mm-hmm.
How is it both? How are you saying it? Right now, he's saying it's both.
Mm-hmm.
Watch.
Oh yeah, because you walked back the other one and added the other.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
it was the assault that happened that made them have the courage or the anger to do it that particular night. But I also believe that they also knew it was a bounty that was put out there by y'all dancing friend, Mr. P Diddy. Uh, I'm sure that threw him out there, and that made him be like, okay, we can get some money, and we go do that. That made him like a little bit extra incentive to do.
Oh,
That's what made you allegedly do it, motherfucker. You allegedly conspired with him to do it, allegedly. Because the extra incentive, the money. Not to mention Tupac fired your ass, and Suge just got hit that y'all was stealing money. Now, that was the incentive.
And more importantly, excuse me.
no, you're fine.
Okay, it was. All right, sorry about that. My apologies. But it was the assault that happened that made them have the courage or the anger to do it that particular night. But I also believe that they also knew it was a bounty that was put out there by y'all dancing friend, Mr. P Diddy. Uh, I'm sure that threw him out there, and that made him be like, okay, we can get some money, and we go do that. That made him like a little bit extra incentive to
Oh,
do what
so
they
it was
did.
kind of okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, let's get into Diddy. How do you you knew all along because I was watching you. You knew all along, and you've been telling people for years that Diddy was a Fruit Loop.
Real quick, RJ, let me ask you, how far-fetched is it that Keefe D could have went to Reggie and been like, yo, allegedly Puff offered us some money for Suge and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? $1 million, this, that, and the other. Went to probably told Reggie that because we know him and Reggie have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole Tupac shit got set up. This is why Orlando's standing there waiting, this, that, and the other. How far-fetched is that?
I think it ranks up there. I mean, it doesn't. It has just as much. It has just as much. I would say proof behind it as anything else. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, when you don't have hard evidence on everything, and everything is speculation, everything is story, then if you don't have any hard evidence, then anything could be just as equally possible as the other. I mean, again, we all know those cats all knew each other. We know Reggie knew Kiffie D. We know that, okay? We also know that Russ Poole questioned Kiffie D. LAPD questioned Kiffie D. I got the records on that. They questioned everybody about this, okay? So to say that these guys didn't know each other, never talked to each other, never had anything to do with each other, and it's some kind of surprise that this all happened. No, I think what you're saying there, I mean, it's got some weight to it. It's got some merit to it. I don't see why not.
I mean, Reggie's
How could
wife
you say
is
why not? I haven't
Kiffie
seen it.
Reggie's wife is Kiffie D's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
So we know they grew up and know each other.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So I believe that Kiffie D may have dropped the bug to Reggie and been like, yo, them niggas offered us $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, what? And knowing that Pac just fired him, and
well, listen, here's your cross evidence chain. You just said that Kiffie D might have said something. Well, you know that Reggie said something to Greg Kading. Greg Kading wrote about it in his book. Reggie said a whole lot of things to Greg Kading about a whole lot of things. Okay. And
he admits it in here. He admits that he was the suspect in the Biggie murder.
Well, of course he was. Of course he was. I'm not sure in some people's minds he's still not. But when you talk about he talked to Greg Kading, told Greg Kading all about P. Diddy, and told him that's Reggie that did that. Then you got Kiffie D, according to the task force members that work with Greg Kading, they interviewed Kiffie D 12 to 15 times. And you ain't talking about Tupac murder if you got to go over it 12 to 15 times on a case that's called Jerry Hawkins. Okay, you don't do that. Well, you're going to interview Kiffie D 12 to 15 times. You better know he's giving up some other information. So you got Kiffie D talking to Greg Kading. You got Reggie Wright talking to Greg Kading. Why wouldn't they complete that triangle? You got them both talking over here. Why wouldn't they talk to each other?
Right. That's what I believe happened now, because it makes sense to why Orlando is standing there. Where's Kiffie D at that moment? Where's Reggie at that moment? Right? Where the fuck is Kiffie D and Reggie at that moment?
Well, they're both on equal ground. They're both on equal ground because they're both snitching to Greg Kading.
Okay, let's get back to this.
But he did it all for Tupac. Just remember that.
Right.
You being in his presence, that he had that air of freakness. You know how you can look at a motherfucker and be like, that nigga a freak ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Did he come off like that?
He came off as suave and a dancer and all of that. But people on the East Coast, see, who's that? McTears, they gangsters don't dance, they boogie.
Yeah,
so, but y'all do that on the East Coast. Y'all be in the club. We go to the club on the East Coast. Them niggas be out there sweating. Y'all be dancing.
No,
we two-step. We two-step. We don't do all of that dancing like that. So that ain't why I would say that. It's just that, we had relationships with people. Suge had a great relationship with his baby mama, Misa. Tupac had a great relationship with with females that he had dealt with. And so that's why we just have been hearing the rumors. And you put two and two together. When you hear people escorts and all of that, and people talk, the strippers and all of that, they all in the same.
Talk about freaky stuff, because the West Coast that's the den of sin. People, you'll be able to just see some shit. People walking down the street doing, that's the den of sin. So it ain't all that nigga right there is a rarity. And that's learned behavior.
Exactly. So, hey, just like I've been telling y'all about Will and his boy. Will and
Leo, that's what I knew it.
I've been telling y'all about him and Dwayne Wayne.
This person and that person was sleeping with that person. I mean, it's crazy.
And that's usually on the male side and the
female side too.
Well, the females
he knows
with
an awful lot about all this
homo
stuff. You know that, right? He knows an awful lot about this. He's like He's like an expert witness. I'm surprised they didn't call him about that. You know, he knows about this guy's homo affair. He knows about this guy's homo affair. He knows about this guy's homo affair. Is he like, you know, you got to get your ear pretty close to the ground to hear the train. You know, you put your head on the rail to hear that train coming.
Yeah, that nigga had his ear in there, some buttholes. That's what it was, goddammit. Or he got allegedly got his booty tapped. Somebody done allegedly hit him up. So he know it when he see it, goddammit. But look, here goes son rolling him out.
I guess so. It amazes me that they're going to spend this much time talking about a bunch of stuff that don't matter. You know, I mean,
like he don't talk about his life at all. All he keep doing is talk about a bunch of people he never been around, hung around, the Will Smiths, the Mary J. Bliges, all these people ain't hang with him. They don't know him.
Well, Frank used to call him Rona Barrett because he's just a gossip. That's all this is. This is all gossip.
Right.
And, you know, and maybe there's some fools that like that kind of stuff. You know, it's just like when we have so many more important things that matters to talk about in life,